Another night, another World Cup memory. Welcome back to the Armchair Galacticos podcast. Just tonight's episode, Portugal versus Spain. This was supposed to be the Iberian Derby that had everything, and for 90 minutes, it mostly had nothing, until the very last moment turned it into one of the defining nights of this entire tournament. Final score, Spain 1, Portugal 0, and Cristiano Ronaldo's World Cup career is over. Dallas Stadium, a TNT stadium, to anyone who's ever bought a ticket there outside of a World Cup, was as loud and as split as any venue at this tournament tonight. Two enormous fan bases packed in for a fixture with genuine sporting and historical weight behind it. Let's talk about the 90 minutes first, because they mattered even though the scoreline didn't move. Spain controlled this game throughout. 1.77 expected goals to Portugal's 0.6, but couldn't turn control into goals. Mikel Oyarzabal was sent clean through by a gorgeous Dani Olmo pass and somehow pulled his shot wide when scoring looked easier. Diogo Costa produced a brilliant full-stretch save to deny an Alex Baena curler. Ronaldo, for his part, barely got a sniff of service against a well-organized Spanish defense. He was largely a passenger in what everyone in that stadium understood might be the last World Cup match of his career. Then, in the first minute of second-half stoppage time, it happened. Substitute Mikel Merino, who had been on the pitch for under 6 minutes, won a foul just outside the box, took the free kick quickly, combined with Ferran Torres, and continued his run into the area to collect the return ball. He beat Diogo Costa with a composed finish. 1-0 Spain. Dallas Stadium split down the middle all night between two enormous traveling support bases, detonated on one side, and went completely silent on the other. Portugal had one final desperate response, Bernardo Silva rising to meet a Sergio Conceição cross and heading narrowly over the bar, but there was no time for anything more. Final whistle, Spain through to the quarterfinal, Portugal and Cristiano Ronaldo out. And we should sit with that for a second, because this is a genuinely historic moment in the sport. Ronaldo leaves the World Cup as the all-time leader in international goals with 146 and international appearances with 233. Records that could realistically stand for a generation, maybe longer. Well, a certain Mbappe or a certain Haaland may have something to say about that. He fought back tears at the final whistle, and in one of the more quietly moving images of this entire tournament, it was 18-year-old Lamine Yamal, the player most likely to inherit exactly the kind of stage Ronaldo has occupied for 20 years, who went over and consoled him on the pitch. Two eras of the sport, shaking hands more or less in real time. Spain's coach Luis de la Fuente was full of praise for his bench afterward, and it's hard to argue with him. He said, quote, "The decisive players were those who came off the bench. The players' impact from the bench has been masterful, but that's because we have 26 players of a very high level." Merino is becoming something of a habitual super sub for this Spain team, and if that pattern keeps holding, it's going to be a real problem for whoever they play next. That's Belgium, as it happens, who beat the USA earlier tonight to set up a quarterfinal in Los Angeles on July 10th. Spain go in as favorites, and after tonight's evidence that this squad can win ugly, not just pretty, they look like a genuinely complete team. It's worth remembering, too, that Spain arrived at this match unbeaten in over 30 matches and having conceded nothing across their first 4 games at this World Cup. Tonight, they finally conceded a scare rather than a goal and got away with it because their bench, yet again, delivered. The couch predicted Spain to win 1-1 on the day, going to penalties 4-3. We got the winner right and everything else wrong. No extra time was needed, no shootout, just a stoppage time gut punch from a player who'd barely broken a sweat. Confidence rating, right team, wrong everything else, which is basically our brand at this point. That's the Armchair Galactico's read on Portugal versus Spain. The couch is signing off right about some of it, wrong about most of it, same as always.